The goal of this workshop is for you to lead with your own PlayPosit experience built in your course. By the end of the day, you should have something to show for it. So you're going to be able to create a PlayPosit bulb in Canvas. You're going to be able to insert interactions into a bulb. If none of these words make sense yet, that's okay. We're going to go over the PlayPosit vocabulary in a second. You're going to be able to modify those interactions, so adjusting points, adding built-in feedback to the questions, and you'll be able to go back and edit a PlayPosit bulb. So today we'll work on getting you started with the bulb and then teaching you how to edit it, so that way you have the tools to go back later and do what you please with it. Let's go and go over the terms. So starting with PlayPosit. PlayPosit is a tool that turns your videos into assignments. And it lets you embed questions or pause points into any point in the video. So when students watch it, the video plays and all of a sudden it stops at a certain preset point and they're required to engage with it. This is a dream for anyone who has required videos in their course. And it's also a great way to support your students. Watching videos is a passive form of learning. And if you have any students who are new to college, new to online learning, new to a four-year university, who may not be so familiar with active or passive learning practices, this is a good way to kind of help them uncover the hidden syllabus of college and build active learning into the way you deliver your content. A bulb is the experience you create in PlayPosit. So today we're creating interactive videos, that's a bulb. Around a month from now, we'll do a similar workshop for interactive worksheets, and that will be called a bulb also. And there are also interactions. So these are the questions that you place into a bulb. So we have all these different question types: multiple choice, free response. You can just have them pause, check all, fill in the blank discussion, web embed. You'll get the chance to experience all of these together. So since we have so many people here who are new to PlayPosit, it would be great if you all could try it. So I have around a 4-minute bulb for you to try on your own. It's a 2-minute long video, but with all the interactions, it takes around 4 minutes. So if you're on the site, scroll down. And this is a PlayPosit video. All the different interaction types are embedded in this video. So this is more of a sample platter of what options you have. So go ahead and get going. So I'll show very briefly with my sound off the type of interactions that you see. So it's the video, we embedded this pause here. You can even upload pictures. You can have, as the video plays, different questions pop up. You can do free response questions. You can have students upload images. There are tons of things that you can do with this tool. It's just a brief synopsis of whatever it is doing.
Keep in mind that the free response ones you'll have to actually grade.
Yeah.
PlayPosit won't be able to grade those
and
automatically.
We'll go over a workaround too if you don't want those free response ones to be automatically graded. And now that you have had a chance to check out PlayPosit, I'm curious to hear what would you think? What do you think? So in this Padlet that I'll share with you in a moment, think about 2 ideas or questions you might have regarding PlayPosit. So what interaction types do you see being useful? What question types? How might you use this in your course or in your role? What type of videos would you like to put in there? Would it be lecture videos, short solutions videos? And what do you want to know more about? So we have our Padlet. If you scroll down all the way to the bottom of the website, you can click this Padlet here. Yeah, it's definitely useful for checking, understanding along the way, especially because videos are so passive. Exactly, making sure students are paying attention. How long should each video be? That depends on the situation. If it's a lecture type content, it's best to break it down into micro lectures. So things that are 20 minutes or less. I'll let Megan pitch in if she has an additional recommendation on that as well.
So we're starting with the basics today, but there are ways to create playlists in PlayPosit that can also be embedded in your course. So if you wanted to take a lecture and break it into segments, that would be something too that would give students the option to watch completely in one flow or break it into chunks.
Yeah, and I love the suggestion here, giving students an opportunity to try a problem right after learning it. So if in your video you're modeling a problem, you could play pause, you could have them actually try a question on their own before they continue watching as part of their grade. Okay, great.
It's a nice opportunity to do some flipping if you want students to see a concept and interact with it before they come to class. This is a great way to build in or even put in those review videos. So if you know that students typically are missing some requisite concepts, Khan Academy videos, things like that could be placed for some practice and review before they come in for the course content.
Yeah, and thank you, Megan. To answer this question, there is a way to see their responses, and I'll show you at the end of this session what the analytics look like. The analytics are super powerful. When you submit an open-ended discussion, there's two options. There's free response, where free response just goes straight to you. And then there's a discussion option. So that's more of like social annotation where they can see what people respond or reply to each other. So you have options here. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your questions, your exciting ideas. We're gonna go ahead and dive a little bit deeper into the how-to. Before we dive into the how-to, just some ways to consider using PlayPosit. So is it, like Megan referenced, is there anything learners should already know coming into the bowl? So this is a great question to think of an opportunity to have students activate their prior knowledge, have them recall core concepts. So if this is a class where there are calculations and in your video you begin to use a formula, a lot of times formulas have rules for when you're allowed to use them or when you're not allowed to use them. So you can plug a quick question in there. Do learners usually plug and chug these types of questions? So does anyone know what plugging and chugging is? It's when students are just using a formula, plugging numbers in, and they get the correct answer. They don't necessarily know why they're getting the correct answer. They're not really following any rules. And this is a dangerous mindset because it tricks students into thinking they know what they're doing when they really don't. So PlayPosit is a great way to break up longer calculations into structured chunks and have students think about why they're doing the next step. You can force them to pause and think this way. You can always ask yourself, is there an opportunity for my students to guess what happens next? So one way you can support your students remembering information is by plugging a quick prediction question. When students are required to make a guess about what happens next, they're automatically going to remember that information more, regardless of if they guess it right or wrong. So PlayPause is a quick way to just embed that type of question in there. And like one of your awesome Padlet answers said, can learners try a portion of something on their own? So if you model a question type, can you plug an interaction in that requires them to try a really similar question? So making them get that hands-on practice and make video watching less passive. Just a couple of things to think about. And so we can go ahead and get started. This is the hands-on part of PlayPosit. So you're going to need a laptop or iPad. You are all here on Zoom. So that tells me that you're good to go on the first step. A Canvas account. A course that you're going to build it in. So we're going to practice example together. And a video you want to try out. So maybe you have a YouTube video or a course video you want to practice with. If you don't have one, if you look on the left side panel here where we have resources, we have extra videos for you. So these are just links to YouTube videos. I'm going to use one of them. I'm just going to copy this link. And I'm going to keep it in my back pocket for later. And if you just want to sit back and watch and see the how-to, that's also great. In the resources tab, we have how-to guides. So you don't need to stress about memorizing every step. You're going to have support for later on.
We are going to cover how to create an interactive video in PlayPosit. We begin by creating an assignment. I'm going to click this plus sign, add an assignment to the module, and give it a nice little name, PlayPosit example. Now we're going to go into the assignment by clicking the assignment title. Once we're in the assignment, we're going to click the Edit with a pencil at the top right of the screen. And now we're editing the assignment. Everything so far has been normal for building an assignment. We're going to start getting into the PlayPosit aspect of things by scrolling down and checking out submission type. We're going to select External Tool from the Submission Type drop-down menu. Like with all external tools, it's best practice to click Load this tool in a new tab. That way students will be able to load it in a new window so they don't lose their place in Canvas. We're going to click the Find button at the right of the side of this box. Here we have a list of all external tools available to us at CSUCI, and we are going to find PlayPosit all the way at the bottom with the letter P. We're going to click PlayPosit. And we're going to see this window here. What we want to click right now to begin is this Enter PlayPosit text in the middle. And this will take us into the PlayPosit My Bulb screen. Since we're creating a new bulb, we want to click this red Add New Bulb button at the top left of this window. This takes us into PlayPosit's Bulb Builder. And we can see we have quite a few options for video source here. So if you already have the URL to your video, if it's in YouTube or some other website with a link, you can just paste your link in here. If you have your video saved as an MP4 to your computer, you can click Upload Video. Click the Upload button, and you'll be able to search your files for the video. You also have the option to record straight into PlayPosit. If you wanted to record a video right now, you could. You also have YouTube and Vimeo available to you, so what this means is you can search YouTube and pick any video that appeals to you. You're also able to upload MP3s if you only want an audio file, so you have options here. For me, my video is a YouTube link. I'm going to copy the link, go back into PlayPosit, click Input URL. I'm going to paste my URL into PlayPosit and click Done. We have successfully created a bulb by adding a video. So now students will be required to watch this video to earn points on this assignment. Let's take it a step further by adding interactions that students will be required to interact with. At the bottom of the screen, you can see the scroll bar here. Drag the scroll bar until you get to the point in the video where you want to add an interaction. Let's say I want to add an interaction at this point in the video. Once I'm happy with the location, I can click this red Add Interaction button that's at the bottom of the screen. Here we have quite a few options for question choices. Right now I'm just going to go for a multiple choice. And you can see there's blank spaces for me to enter parts of my question. I'm going to start typing my question here. We're going to keep it real easy. What is 1 + 1? And you can see as I type, we have lots of different options for what we can do with the rich text editor. We can jump students to a previous point in the video. This is helpful if you want to refer to previous content. So I can say, we covered this earlier, and I can make students jump back to the 20-second mark in the video, and I can insert that. If you want to edit this jump, I maybe want to add a styling effect, like I want to underline this text with a little bit of color. We have options here. This way, when students click this, they'll be jumped to the earlier point in the video. You also have the option to record yourself here. This is a great way to talk to students. You can attach a file if you have something you want for them to look at. You can record some audio. These humanizing touches are great for online courses. You can insert an image if there's some kind of decor that you want to insert in there or some kind of supplemental instructional materials. You can add emojis. You can have an equation, and all of your regular text editing tools are here as well. So there's a lot of power to this tool. I'm going to get rid of my jump. You can put answer choices in, and you need to select a correct answer option. Just do that by selecting the correct answer here. And with all interactions, I encourage you to check out the Advanced tab at the bottom of the box at the left-hand side. Click Advanced, and you'll see more options for you. Choose which ones appeal to you and make sense for your course. I'm going to randomize the answer order, and I'm going to allow more than one attempt. So I'm going to let them have 3 tries at this question. And I'm going to click Done. So congrats, we have just created our first interaction. And I'm going to add an interaction at a different point in the video. So you can control this by dragging the little white dot at the bottom of the screen, or you can click this play button in the bottom left. This will play the video and help you make a really precise location for your interaction. If you want to insert an interaction just after you say a certain thing, this play button is your friends. Once you're happy with the location, click this red Add Interaction button. And I'm going to choose a free response question this time. As with everything else, you can check out the Advanced tab. Here, I see that learners can upload videos. Sure, I want them to be able to allow a video to explain them. Sure, I'll let them add an attachment. It's really just up to you and your assignment design. Now we click this red Done button. And congrats, we've created 2 interactions now. Now that we've created some interactions, let's go over editing interactions. Not everything has to be perfect on the first try, and there's options for going back and fixing things. If you're interested in editing an interaction, click these 3 dots at the top of the interaction here. I can go ahead and click this Edit with a pencil sign, and we're back at the same place and we can edit this interaction. While we're here, I want to show you a really awesome feature for multiple choice questions, adding feedback. So this is great for an asynchronous option where you're not there with your students. Maybe you want to give them some kind of feedback or some kind of nudge in the right direction. Click this gear button next to an answer choice, and you can click Add Feedback. When a student selects this answer, they will see this feedback. So I can say, great job. Maybe for this answer choice, I want to point them more in the right direction. So I click the 3 gears, I click Add Feedback. Close but too high. This is a way to give your learners a little bit more of a personal touch. Click Done. One thing that's great about multiple choice questions in PlayPosit is they have one correct answer and they auto grade for you. This is true of most interactions in PlayPosit. One interaction that does require you to manually grade answers is the free response interaction. This is because there's no one preset answer to free response questions. If you want to get around that and have students get points for just completing the bulb without yourself having to go in and assign a grade to the free response interaction, you just have to make sure that this interaction is worth 0 points. Let's go over how to do that. Click these 3 dots at the top right of the interaction, and you'll notice next to this star, there's a point slider, so you can adjust the amount of points. If you make the free response interaction worth 0 points, students will be able to get a grade in the bulb without you going in and manually assigning anything. Great, so we've created interactions, we've added them. Let's go ahead and review. It's always important to check out the playback options here. So this is where you as the instructor have a lot of flexibility and a lot of control. You can allow your students to rewind after an interaction happens. So if a question pops up and they're not sure how to answer this means they're able to go back in the video and have more exposure to the content. You could let them skip interactions if you wanted to. You could allow them to fast forward or not allow them to fast forward. You can allow students to retake the bulb. If this is a lecture video and you want them to continue to have access to it, you can make the number of attempts something really unreasonably large, like 100. You can allow them to fast forward or go 2 times speed or not go 2 times speed. And you're able to mark the bulb complete if they reach some base score. So let's say your students don't need to get a perfect score. Maybe you just want them to earn 75%. This is fine. So now students who score 75% or higher will automatically get a full grade on this assignment. We can click Save Changes. You also always have the option to preview your bulb, and this is a great way to check your work and make sure everything turned out the way that you want it to turn out. Once you're happy with everything, you can click Save. Now that the bulb is saved, we can close this tab and go back to Canvas. Now that we're in Canvas, notice that we still haven't created the PlayPosit bulb yet. Now that we have created our PlayPosit bulb, we need to tell Canvas which bulb we want it to connect to for this specific assignment. When you see the thumbnail and the title of the video that you want to set the bulb link to, click this Canvas icon. This will set the bulb link. So right now, Canvas knows that I'm going to insert some kind of PlayPosit experience in here. It doesn't know which specific one. By clicking this Canvas icon, this is how we tell Canvas we want the specific bulb in this assignment. So I'm going to click this Canvas icon here next to the video I want, and I'm going to click link. Now, since we've linked our bulb, we can click this red select button, and we can scroll all the way down to the bottom of this page and click Save, saving our assignment. Great job, we just created a bulb, added interactions, and edited interactions. Let's say we want to go back and edit this PlayPosit after we've created it. We're going to go back to the assignment. And it's so tempting to click Edit Assignment Settings. We don't want to do this right now. If you want to edit the PlayPosit, we need to click this Enter PlayPosit text in the middle of the screen. Here you'll get a list of all of your bulbs. The one with the Canvas icon is the bulb that is linked to that specific assignment, so we want to edit this one. Click the thumbnail of the video you want to edit, and then select the Edit with a pencil icon, and we're back in the bulb builder. So this screen should look familiar to you. You can add more interactions, edit your interactions. You can review everything and adjust your playback options. Just make sure you click Save. So we've successfully edited this PlayPosit. Let's say once students have begun to submit their assignments and complete the PlayPosit, you want to check in on how they're doing. Go back to the assignment. And to monitor their progress, click the red monitor button on the top right. This will allow you to see all your students who have attempted it, and it will allow you to check out every single interaction that they have completed. All right, and that is how you create an interactive video with PlayPosit, edit a video, and edit interactions.
The steps that we went through, they are in our site, so you have access to them. So PlayPosit is great for your own micro lectures. If you have solutions videos, this is great for a flipped classroom. Sometimes professors who teach flipped classrooms, they lament that obviously my students aren't watching the videos. PlayPosit requires them to actually watch it. It's also good for professional development. So the WMC uses this to create workshops where students have to watch a video and answer questions to become certified on academic citations. I think there's a really good staff use for this too. But just to continue, does it work in Canvas? As you know, yes, it works in Canvas. Does it show up in the speed grader? Yes, so this is a great tool for faculty who are looking to create this type of assignment, but have some grading taken off of their plate. Yes, there are resources for getting started. So if you look in the left-hand side here, our resources tab, if you open it, we have lots of things for you. So we have multiple guides for getting started with PlayPosit. So these are all the step-by-step processes that we went through today. So you don't have to memorize everything from today, just refer back to these articles here. We also have a student-facing guide. So this is something where you can copy and paste this into your assignment. And this links students to different kinds of PlayPosit support. That way your students aren't stressed out by the tech half of this. There's a little bit of work on your end where all the highlighted material, you need to double check and make sure it applies to your assignment. So maybe for your assignment, they will be able to retake the bulb. Make sure you select the you will part and delete the you will not part, right? So this is all the options there for you. There's also a link to our blog. So on March 7th, we're going to post an article about interactive worksheets. So today was about interactive videos. They also have a worksheet option, which is great. We have some things to look at for pedagogical inspiration. So there's just some quick tips here. There's also some PlayPosit use cases if you're curious about how other faculty at other schools have used PlayPosit before. So you have tons of support here for moving forward. And can you see individual students' progress? You absolutely can. Someone asked earlier, can we see different answers? I'll go ahead and show you what the back end looks like over here. So this is all the information you get from PlayPosit. So you can see every individual student, you can see how long it took them. You can check their individual answers. So we can see what this person said. You can even leave them personalized feedback here. This person here, we can see it's still in progress, so we can see all their answers. We can see where they got right and wrong. And we can see that they watched almost until the end. So this is helpful for you too, if the student emails you and says, hey, I watched the video, I don't have points. You can go to the back end and say, oh, well, it looks like you submitted everything, but you didn't quite finish the video. This is also great for at-a-glance analytics. So this is a multiple choice question here. You can click this and click the interaction, click interaction data. And you get a really nice graphic about what students are putting. So this is a great way to kind of have a pulse check on your class of, are students getting this? Are students not getting this? Like what Megan shared with the poll interaction, you can really clearly see how confident students are feeling in things.
And what I do like about this grading interface too, Georgia, can you click on one of the short answers for a moment and show the
specific persons or all of them?
All of them, so you can see how you can grade them in a column. Oh, not the interaction data, the other.
Oh, right, grade all, sorry.
Grade all. So if you had short answers, you can actually click and see everybody's and they'll pop up. So if you wanted to go down the list and give your feedback there, you can. If you did have points, it becomes clickable. There's a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5 for however many points you were going to give for that response interaction. You can always override the multiple choice too. So, you know, when we're writing questions, oftentimes we'll realize maybe we worded it in a way that it didn't work for students, and so you don't want to penalize them. So you can go on the back end and you can make adjustments there as well. So I do find that from when you're learning to teach with something differently, the flexibility to fix things as you go has been beneficial, because we all know how that process goes too. So, Lena, did you have a question?
Yeah, and it's not exactly related to this, but when you gave us your PowerPoint and the PlayPosit for us to look at, it's not inside of Canvas. So how can we create, say, a video that is not inside of Canvas, and then, you know, you can include it, say, later on Canvas?
So you can use, so Georgia shared the YouTube link.
Okay.
You can do the same thing. You can upload a video too. So if you have a recorded video that you maybe made in Zoom, it's an MP4, you know, that content can be uploaded. It's also really powerful in that students can actually do the same thing that we've just walked through. But then for courses that have demonstration as well, students can just come in and video themselves demonstrating a skill and get feedback from the instructor as well. And I think those are things lined up in Georgia's series as we go, all the different ways to incorporate this.
Okay, because my question is, I'm not teaching currently, but I have to create, and I want my team to create videos for training for different areas in academic programs. So if I don't have to go to Canvas, how do I do it? Do I upload the app? How do I do it?
So this is something that I'd love to meet with you about, but yes, you can. So you can embed it in a publicly visible space. It all has to do with your settings.
Okay.
So I'd love to know a little bit more, or you can meet with Georgia. She's our other, you know, guru on this, but what exactly you're looking to do, because yours will be a little bit unique to what we're doing with faculty.
Yeah.
But yes, those things can be done.
Wonderful.
It's definitely possible. We had to wrangle those settings to get this publicly available, so totally possible. And does anyone have questions about the backend analytics
How do
or
you get to that?
what was that?
How do you get to that?
How do we get to,
You just had a tab open, so for the faculty that just did this, how would they go to get to the grades? What do they click on?
oh, to get to the grades? Oh, that's a great question. So go to your PlayPosit assignment and you want to see how students are doing, you want to monitor them, you just click the monitor button. So
that takes you to the tab that she had already.
yeah, so just clicking that monitor. Thank you, Chrissy. Yeah.
And this does sync with your grade book in Canvas. So, you know, any scores that are recorded here will go straight there. That's where the syncing grades, I don't know if that's where we're going to go today, but you can sync grades. And then also the bulb analytics will show you there's just a lot of rich data that you can go back and look at through this.
Thank you, Megan. So any questions from you all? Any more questions from you all while we have you here? Or any
One quick
ideas?
question I have is that when student, let's say there is like a 15-minute video and students stopped in the middle of the videos and left it there, and then can they go back to where they left, or do they have to restart from the beginning to?
They can resume back where they left off.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've got one. Two really. Is it fine? I assume it's fine if we share this link with our departments.
Absolutely. This is encouraged to disperse this.
And in line with that, will we have access to this video as well?
Yes, and we can do a whole training for your department. Anybody who wants to come in and have a unique training just for your program, we can set that up. And it can be like this, virtual and in person. We just did this with the School of Ed. They had a really specific use. And so we'd be happy to meet and plan something that was targeted at what you guys needed.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, happy to support whatever need. As you can tell, there's just a million different ways to use this. So it's nice to have faculty in the room from a bunch of different disciplines, because I'm sure every person here has a different idea for how you're going to use this. So if you want support, just reach out. You can schedule a consultation with me, and then we'll go over how to make your PlayPosit idea actually come true. Yeah, and then Virgil, yeah.
Yeah, real quick. I did all this stuff, went through it really fast. I don't know if I remember it. Is there an easy way to make sure I can go back and, review? That makes sense.
So if you click on the left-hand side of the resources tab.
Okay.
Under getting started with PlayPosit guides, if you click how to create an interactive bulb, this is in our knowledge base, and this is step-by-step everything to do, everything you can do.
Okay, that's fine. Like I said, I got it to work real great, but that was a lot real fast. I don't know if I'm retaining it.
And this recording will be shared for you to view. And then, like Georgia said, she's really available to connect with on, conveniently schedule with to do things. I will say PlayPosit does have a bit of a learning curve. It is one of those tools that does take going through it a few times, but you can see all the possibilities with it. So it's one of those that is worth investing the time in. Something else to keep in mind too, anything you create or a colleague creates, you can share with each other. So you can divide and conquer if there's a certain series that you wanted to create and make usable across different courses as well. So it doesn't mean that, there's a lot of things and options around workflow. So we would love to chat about your ideas and help narrow it down because it can feel like this.
Sounds good.
And if you're using this for something like a flip classroom or putting your lectures into PlayPosit, once you build it once, you can relink to that bulb. In that scenario, it would be more front end work, but you would be good to go for an engaging experience for many semesters ahead.
Like Beatrice and I talked about today too, thinking in small steps. So maybe there's a couple of things in your course for next time you want to transition, and then slowly keep growing what you do with it. Because again, baby steps are always like successful winners rather than trying to take on everything at once.
Thank you all so much for coming. I appreciate you taking the time to come hear about this new tool.